And what we are going to begin by talking about, of course, will be with Gerry's little project that he has worked on. Like I said, he is an animator, but you might have actually seen this project that he has actually worked on. Because if you guys don't know, Gerry is an animator on Space Jam: A New Legacy. So just to start things off, Gerry, can you tell us what did you do on Space Jam: A New Legacy?
Well, actually, it turns out I was actually a scene planner on the film.
A scene plan.
I helped out with the ink and paint process, building the files for the ink and paint artist to fill in the colors for. I also prepared animation scenes as well for the compositing stage, and I also worked with a team of 10 plus to to get the animation scenes like through the online pipeline, getting a lot of scenes to like the animators, to the cleanup artists, to the ink and paint artists, to the compositors. And it was a real pleasure as well to be working with a lot of recognizable names as well, like John Pomeroy. He worked on Space Jam: A New Legacy as well, as an animator for a couple of key sequences on the film. But
Nice.
yeah, I wouldn't want to spoil it, of course. But then again, you can probably look it up. Anyone on his Instagram, he does have some scenes like he posted on his Instagram.
Well, considering that it's already been a little while since Space Jam: A New Legacy has been released, I'm just going to go and say right now, there will be a little bit of spoilers from the movie. So if you don't want to hear it, you can always mute it or skip ahead so you don't have to hear what the spoilers are in case you want to go and avoid that. But if you can you tell us a little bit about those scenes that John Pomeroy has worked on, or more specifically, what did you work on?
Well, it turns out I like the two scenes that I contributed the most to in the scene planning department was actually the DC World sequence and the Wonder Woman sequence with with Lola Bunny like testing her skills out in the big stadium.
Ah,
and like
yes.
and also like on the DC World sequence where Daffy Duck is pretending to be Superman and orchestrates like the runaway train just so he can act out being a hero and stuff, so he can get into the Justice League. But then Bugs Bunny and LeBron then come in to ask him if he'd be interested in coming on to the team to help LeBron like play the game of basketball to get his son back from algae rhythm.
Nice, nice. Do you know which part specifically that you actually took on the most, that you actually helped out with, or is it just those scenes in particular?
Well, there was actually quite more. There was quite more. There was the very final scene, final shot in the film with LeBron and Bugs kind of walking to the distance, and like this was a scene like Bugs Bunny in this particular part was animated by the ex Disney animator Sean Keller, who worked
Hmm.
on films like Atlantis: The Lost Empire and Home on the Range. And like him, like I've always found his animation to be very unique. Like the way the characters moved was very a little more limited, but very impressive at the same time. I always found it very intriguing. And I was able to help out with the setting up the animation for the ink and paint stage where I basically made all the invisible color regions for the ink and paint artist to work with to basically put in the colors on Bugs Bunny with ease, and then also also helped out to prepare the scene as well for the lighting and shading stage where the tones and shadow artists would basically put in the tones and shadows for Bugs Bunny, but as he walks to the distance with LeBron, and and then the movie would end.
Okay. And also, I am curious to know, considering from what we chatted before, you didn't specifically work at Warner Brothers Animation. You worked in a studio in Toronto on this movie. Can you tell us about the place where you worked at?
Yes, it's a brand new studio that just recently got set up by the Deluxe Entertainment Service Group called Company 3 Animation. they're a new studio that just worked with Warner Brothers before on the Green Eggs and Ham series for Netflix, and they worked with the big they worked with the studio again on the Space Jam: New Legacy, doing a couple of key sequences in the film with another studio in Montreal called Tonic DNA.
Oh, okay. I need to look up actually, considering that's not far from my neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like their stuff is very very cool. And like company through animation, like the studio I worked for, they have a lot of very neat projects in the pipeline and everything. So like there's a lot to look forward to like on their ends.
All right, that does sound nice. Like I know, like because of like contract reasons, we can't really talk about those. So,
Of course,
yeah.
absolutely.
But what I would like to know is that considering you did mention that this is your first time working on a major motion picture like Space Jam: A New Legacy, what I would like to know is, from your perspective, how was your experience working on this movie, or your first experience working on a feature film like Space Jam: A New Legacy?
Well, it was very, very neat. There was a lot of fun and it was very, very insightful. I was actually working on the film from my own bedroom, right where I am right now, of course. I was using the Lenovo computer like when to do my work, and I was working with a virtual server software, VMware, to get access to one of the computers in Toronto, like virtually. So I'd be working with a computer like that'd be a lot more powerful than the one I had.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, VMware workstation.
So, like, you never actually worked in the studio. You worked purely at home on Space Jam: A New Legacy?
Yes, that's right. I'm like and for like anybody who doesn't know, I'm actually from Ireland.
I think we could tell a little bit from the accent. You know, not
Yeah,
to
of
say
course,
that
of
your
course.
accent is back, but it's not that your accent is bad. It's just like we can hear. It's like, yeah, you're from somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, definitely, of course. Like, but I'm just throwing that out there right now, just so nobody, just so anybody, just for anybody, just if anyone's curious.
No, we definitely do understand. But right now you're actually in Toronto. Gerry, are you still there?
Sorry, you're cutting off there.
Yeah, just to repeat. So, right, like even though you're from Ireland, right now you're in Toronto.
No, I'm still living here in Ireland, of course. Like,
Ah.
I was working like remotely as a freelancer.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, now I understand. I understand completely. But then again, like lucky you that you managed to work at home on a major project like Space Jam. I don't think that is something you would expect in your life to actually do.
Exactly. I was actually sort of like I did apply for like an ink artist job like on the project, and then one of the recruiters at Company 3 Animation, well, they were called Deluxe Animation before May, before I left the project, but just a week before they were completed on the project. One of the recruiters reached out to me to recommend the scene planner job because I had experience working with Toon Boom Harmony's Node and camera tool.
Ah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Like, especially nowadays, if you really want to get into the industry, you would need to know softwares like Toon Boom, especially considering that nowadays like Toon Boom. Would you say like is the top of the line animation software nowadays?
Yeah, it would be the top of the line for the mainstream animation industry, like especially even in Canada where it comes from.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, like I know like I believe Toon Boom was actually made in Montreal, so we know around here that's what we would primarily use. And I know there are other major studios that would also heavily use it. Like even Disney would actually use Toon Boom as well. So at least like since you do know how to use Toon Boom, then like it does come in handy. Like probably one good advice you could actually give out to the people watching and listening to this is use Toon Boom if you want to get in the industry.
Well, look, you don't have to just use Toon Boom. There's also there's another software that's very big in Europe where I'm from, TV Paint.
Oh,
That's
of course, yeah.
another software that you can use as an alternative. But then then Toon Boom Harmony is also in like the second as also another industry standard as well.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that is true. I do apologize. So yeah, TV Paint and Toon Boom are a couple of the essentials to know how, like, to use animation, even like in the industry standards. To, like, once you have that knowledge, it'll be easier to actually get into the industry.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's cool. But now we want to talk about something that did actually recently happen with Space Jam: A New Legacy. I'm sure you probably heard about all of this. It's actually regarding the recent controversy with the credits. I talked about this last week. You probably have heard about character designer Dave Alvarez, and
Yes.
and what happened to him, where he supplied a lot of the character designs, including some that did end up in the movie itself, but unfortunately he did not receive the credits, where by that point we would see the like a lot of hashtags that would be trending for a while, including hashtag credit Dave and hashtag credit Dave Alvarez. Now, there was at one point on social media where the cartoon community also caught attention to a comment that you made on a video, where you mentioned that not only you worked on Space Jam: A New Legacy, but you did not receive credits as well. So what I would like to know
Okay.
so, what I would like to know from your perspective, how do you feel about the whole controversy with Dave Alvarez not getting credits, and how do you feel about you as well not receiving credits in Space Jam: A New Legacy?
Well, actually, it turns out that like I'm not the only one at Company 3 Animation who didn't get credit in the film, in the scrolling end credits. There was also like a few more people who worked at Company 3 Animation who weren't credited in the film either.
Did
Like there
any,
was
yeah, did anyone at Company 3 actually get credits?
Yes, there was like over half of the people did get credit, including some of my teammates on the film. Megan Grayson, Bobby C. Mangal, Thomas Van Kampen, also Evan Saunders, Claire Morris, and like yeah, those people, and Jennifer Chu, like those ones I did work with like primarily on the project. And then there's also another rookie animator as well called John Densk, who worked with Tom Bancroft a lot of times, and he wasn't credited there either.
So how do you feel about not receiving those credits? Do you feel like you got cheated over? Are you okay with this? And considering how there are plenty of others, including some of your teammates, and with people like Dave Alvarez, what are your thoughts and what are your feelings about not receiving those credits?
At first, when I watched the movie with my family at the end credit, when we were watching the end credits at the very end, when I saw the movie with my family at my local cinema, like I was really hoping to see my name on the credits, but then again, that there was kind of a part of me who was kind of like, don't get your hopes up because something could happen, like anything could happen, you know, like so your name might not show up there. And then when I was looking for my name scrolling on those credits, like it was kind of hard because like everyone was so close to it was all bundled in together. And then like we kind of taped it over, and then like I was looking over like to see if my name was there, and unfortunately my name was not there. And at first at first I felt very upset, but then but then over time I felt, you know what, like at the same time, like I like it's not the worst thing, honestly. Like at least because there's always more chances to get your name out there, and even like I'm already promoting the fact that I worked on the film on my social media. I'm showing all the proof in the world that even Company 3 Animation, like they did post the full credits of all the people who worked with them on the film on their Instagram and on their and like yeah on LinkedIn as well. Like our names are all listed there,
Actually,
including mine.
Yeah, actually, I do have one proof that you did work on it that you sent me. Do you mind if I show that to the audience?
Yeah, you can. Go on ahead.
Yeah, because you just showed this to me, and it's actually really awesome. And apparently, from what you said, it's right at the end, like when you finished, like you were almost done, or it was soon to be released. But it's actually this drawing here of your Acro Ace avatar, Acro Ace, no, not Acro, sorry,
Andrew Ace Bonnier.
Andro Ace Bunny, yes. Your bunny OC, Andro Ace Bunny with Bugs and Lola. That was done by John Pomeroy. And it's actually a really
Uh-huh.
nice one.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of it as well. And also, like it turned like my rabbits, my Zootopia style rabbit's name is actually named after me, Gerry. I just it's just my own like anthropomorphic animal representation of myself. You see.
No, it's really nice. It's a really cool one, and especially coming from from a really well-known animator like John Pomeroy. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel there's a part of me that is kind of jealous that holy crap, you got like you actually got a drawing not just from John Pomeroy, but with two very popular characters with Bugs and Lola and the character you created. That is something that you gotta keep like near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely, of course.
Yeah, so I do have one more question that I would like to go and ask you. Considering everything that has happened with the whole controversy with the credits and stuff like that, including yourself and what you went through throughout the production, the big question I want to ask you is, would you want to go and do this again? Would you be willing to go through this entire experience of what you did with Space Jam and New Legacy again, even if it would mean that maybe you would not receive credits?
I would absolutely. I would honestly, because like I would definitely be open to doing this kind of work more often.
All right, so that yeah, that I mean, like the whole like at the end of the day, it really is all about the experience itself.
hmm And there's a few people as well, like on LinkedIn, who I'm connected with, who would honestly agree. Whom like this one person whom I've known for quite some time, an assistant animator named Denise Dean. She's based in England, and she worked on films like Balto and Wolfwalkers as well. She
Oh,
Yeah, like, and she was basically saying sort of the same thing, how like at the end of the day, like the credit is not as important as your personal experience on the movie itself at the end of the day. And like the work that you've done for the film as well is just like you being able to show it on your portfolio, like it's just as important, like to show off to the employers, to see, like, to give them confidence to be able to hire you, and to have trust in your skill set and everything.
oh yeah, no, I understand where you are going with it. Really, so basically, it's to go and show off your skills, to really hone your craft, and to be better at what you do. Including the fact that now, like, even though you don't got the credits there, you still got something to work on with your portfolio that looks absolutely beautiful. And I could definitely tell that because you were attached to a big project like Space Jam: A New Legacy, I got the confidence that your future in animation is going to be bright. Like it's actually going to go up from there.
Yeah, and also, like, I can also say this as well. Like, I actually got another job very recently, back last month. I worked with Titmouse in Vancouver, again from my own home in Ireland. But I worked with Titmouse as a scene setup artist via Adobe Animate on this one
Oh.
project that Titmouse is doing for Warner Brothers. I can't really discuss it really, because it's not, it has yet to be announced. But that is one thing I can definitely say. That's another sign right there. That's like, you're right, that my future in the industry will be very bright.
That is awesome, I gotta say. And also, just Overall, though, I just got to say congratulations with what you have done on Space Jam: A New Legacy, and already it looks like things are going up from there, especially with that project you're working at Titmouse. So can't wait to hear what the announcement is going to be on that.
Indeed.
Yeah, and now it is time I want to go and pass on to the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all if you have any questions for Gerry regarding his experience on Space Jam or any additional questions that you may have. Let me know if you got any that you would like to ask him. So if there are any questions, ask away. Let's see. Just gotta wait a little bit. Let's see if someone asks. Well, have you ever been an animator at Cartoon Saloon before? Yeah, I don't.
Well, actually,
Actually,
I
go
did
on.
actually work on. Okay, sorry. I did actually participate in an open day in at Cartoon Saloon in 2019 when they were making the movie Wolfwalkers. And
Oh,
I was given like a bit of a lecture on how they do cleanup and ink and paint on the movie, and getting a feel for the the brush, like the new brushes that they made for the cleanup stage, where like where they would distinguish from like the town from the town and the forest, where the town would have like kind of blocky sort of lines, while rough blocky lines, while the forest would have like more more vibrant, sketchy Xerox like lines,
yes, that
and like
is
it was very
true.
intriguing. It was very intriguing, I must say. Like, oh my God, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun back then. Like when I was there down in Kilkenny in 2019 in the summertime. I'll never forget it.
Oh, that is nice, and honestly, I'm quite surprised to actually hear that. That is actually really awesome, and the fact that you even got like a little bit of that taste of Wolfwalkers before it came out. That must be a beautiful experience. I mean, I love Wolfwalkers, by the way. So the fact
Me
that
too.
yeah, the fact that you even got a little bit of that experience is just amazing. Moving on, moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on to another question. Someone wants to know your favorite Disney film.
Well, I would say, if you can tell by my persona, I would say Zootopia. Because like I like the it's just so much I love about that film. There's the characters, there's the animation, there's the sets, the setting, and even like the storytelling as well is really really top notch, and like the topicality and everything is very relevant and very intriguing as well. How even an animated film would even go into a dark topic like terrorism, believe it or not, like to the point, like, because with the spoilers ahead, where like there's the character of Bellwether trying to like turn all the predators in Zootopia like into savages, so that she'd be able to ruin their reputation. She would kind of take over as mayor.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's literally that is literally not only terrorism but also committing a coup d'état as well.
Yeah, I think
And
yeah, go on.
yeah, like so, like and I yeah like beforehand there was other Disney films I was very very fond of. There was Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. There was Beauty and the Beast, The Fox and the Hound, and also like I was also very fond of I'm still very fond of these films to this day. Like even also Wreck-It Ralph as well. That was another big favorite of mine. And before Zootopia, I would have said that Wreck-It Ralph was my favorite of the computer animated films by Walt Disney Animation Studios until and now. But now it would be Zootopia, or Zootropolis as it's called in this country, in Ireland and the UK,
Mm-hmm.
and a few places in Europe.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta say I'm completely with you. I adore Zootopia. I think it's like for me. It's the best animated film for the last decade. It's such a phenomenal movie, and like a lot of the things that you have listed, I'm totally on your side on, in terms of like the whole message that is trying to come across, and just a gorgeous looking film as well.
Uh-huh.
We do have another question. What was it like working on the DC properties for Space Jam: A New Legacy? Since you did mention that you worked on the DC scene as well as the Wonder Woman sequence.
Well, like it was actually very intriguing. Like there was some key sequences, like, some key shots that I was able to help out with, preparing for the ink and paint process. Like there was the part where like Daffy Duck is like, I did this. It was me. I masterminded this entire operation. And then turns out that Superman was the one that stopped the train from end up hitting the hitting the orphanage place. And like I was able to help out with the ink and paint process for that. And it was a lot of fun, I will say. And there was also another scene as well, like that I actually I did help out with, that I do find that I am very proud of. There's also the like where Bugs Bunny is sort of like doing the Barber of Seville thing with LeBron James, where he's
Yes.
kind of like, and where he's just kind of talking with LeBron like where like how what brings him to Toon World, and then he explains that he's been kind of banished there by LG, and he has to play, and he's been challenged to play basketball so that he can get his son Dom back. And funny, that was another scene that was animated by Sean Keller as well. That Disney animator I was telling you about
Yes.
beforehand.
Yes. We actually got an interesting question here. How do you feel about the removal of Pepe Le Pew from Space Jam: A New Legacy?
Well, honestly, like I'm not like honestly like I'm not like even though I that scene would have been a lot of fun, like just as they talked about on the Variety or Deadline article. I thought that scene would have been very intriguing, very interesting, very funny. I like it would be very relevant as well, like with the current social issues of consent and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like it that then again, like the scene with they had with Yosemite Sam was on the piano was just as good. And that was another scene I actually helped out with preparing for the tones and shadow process, like the compositing. I was able to help out to prepare the scene for that.
Ah, nice, nice.
Hmm.
I guess I'm gonna go with just one more question before we move on to the next stuff. Um, is there an animation studio you would want to work for, or are you just happy to go and work with whoever, or do you have a specific goal of which studio you would like to work for the most?
Well, there are two studios I'm definitely eyeing for in my career.
Okay.
There's Cartoon Saloon and there's Walt Disney Animation Studios. Those are the two studios I would definitely love to work for in the future
Oh,
because
yeah, go on.
especially Cartoon Saloon because they've hit very close to home to me. Not only because of that open day, but because they're based in Ireland like me. I can totally relate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Considering Ireland's rich history with animation, especially with the Don Bluth films, and now that they're still going strong, especially with the Cartoon Saloon stuff, I can understand why you would have such a great interest in working there, and I'm sure a lot of animators would have a lot of interest to work there as well.
Yeah, like if there's one more thing about that Pepe Le Pew question, if you're okay with letting me kind of say my piece on it.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, like like Pepe Le Pew, like I know, like in a way, like even though that scene would have been very funny, I think at the same time, like I'm not too upset about Pepe Le Pew not being in the film because he's not like, even though like I did kind of like Pepe Le Pew when I was a kid. At the same time, but at the same time, he can be a bit annoying sometimes. Like how like every time he mistakes Penelope Pussycat for a skunk because of the every time she ends up getting the stripe on her tail, the white stripe on her back, because like from white hair dye or something, or paint or anything like that, he's always kind of lunching at Penelope, and and it's like, in a way he can be a bit, it can be a bit douchey. But then again, I've seen worse. Let me tell you, I've seen worse even in real life. And like Pepe Le Pew would be kind of a parody of like people like of people who'd end up committing sexual harassment. I would say, to be fair on Pepe Le Pew, he's not the worst character, but he's not particularly, he's not one of my favorites either. They're like, he's not like what he's not up there with like Bugs Bunny or Lola, or even like Daffy Duck and Porky Pig, in my opinion. But then again, like he has a pretty decent character anyway.
Yeah,
Like he has a pretty decent character with like what I said beforehand. Anyways,
yeah, no, I get what you mean. For me, like, I understand where you're going with, and for me, there's a part of me that doesn't want to see Pepe Le Pew to be like out of the picture and no longer be used anymore. I mean, he could still be a fun character, but I do agree with like his old routine and stuff like that. Yeah, it kind of aged like milk nowadays. But I feel like what Warner Brothers should do with Pepe Le Pew, I feel like they should go and reboot the character. Like, still keep that aspect of the romantic skunk about him, or the romantic French skunk, but rework him in a way that could be more acceptable in today's world. And I'm sure there are plenty of ways that Warner Brothers can find a way to actually make that work. I mean, they've
yeah, there
rebooted.
was actually.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, you go on ahead.
Yeah, because the Warner Brothers has a long history of constantly rebooting their characters and changing up their personalities from what they used to be. Case in point, look at Daffy Duck. So honestly, it wouldn't be hard to imagine that Pepe Le Pew will come back one day, but in a way that is more acceptable to the modern world.
Yeah, like, and there's actually one good example of this already. Do you know the series Wabbit, a
Oh,
Looney Tunes
Wabbits,
production,
yes.
or New Looney Tunes? There's actually like Pepe Le Pew actually appears in there as a James Bond style character, where he's trying to woo this fox girl, and like, but there's always things always standing in his way. And
That
like I found that very, very funny, and like I found it to be a fresh new take on Pepe Le Pew, to be like, and like, if you ask me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a great example there. And overall, Pepe, like, the thing with Pepe Le Pew is just that he just needs a fresh new take. That's all it really needs. Like, there are ways to stay true to the character, like how he's always been, but just something different, something new.